Hello students, welcome back to Neeta's Business Studies classes. Today we are going to continue with the classification of business activities. In our last class we studied about the trade and all the types of trade, and in today's class we are going to do what is the next branch of commerce, that is auxiliaries to trade. So auxiliaries to trade, we have again branches which are also called as service sectors, that is transportation, warehousing, insurance, banking and finance, and advertising. So this is what we are going to do in today's class, dear students. The branch of commerce, that is auxiliaries to trade. So auxiliaries to trade, activities which are meant for assisting trade are known as auxiliaries to trade. These activities are generally referred to as services. Example: transportation, banking, insurance, warehousing, and advertising. These activities remove various hindrances which arise in connection with the production and distribution of goods. So auxiliaries to trade means that supports trade, that helps in the movement of trade smoothly from the place of production and to the place of distribution and consumption. In order to carry out trade smoothly, we need these auxiliaries, and these auxiliaries are nothing but which provides services such as transportation, banking, insurance, warehousing, advertisements. These are all service sectors that helps out trade to move forward smoothly. Trade and business is function smoothly. It's only because of these auxiliaries to trade. So these auxiliaries to trade will remove the various hindrances. Hindrances means the barriers or the obstacles or the problems that you come across in trade or during the distribution of goods and services from the place of production to the place of consumption. Whatever problems you face is all removed and solved. The barriers are removed and overcome by these auxiliaries to trade that supports trade in order to carry out the business smoothly. So this is what is auxiliaries to trade. It is also called as aids to trade here. So auxiliaries to trade are as follows. We'll study that one by one. So the first one is transportation and communication. Second one is banking and finance. The third one is insurance. The fourth one is warehousing. The fifth one is advertising. So the first one in auxiliaries to trade that supports trade or gives aids to the trade is transport and communication. So production of goods takes place in a particular location, but these goods are required for consumption in different parts of the country, and this obstacle of place is removed by transportation through roadways, railways, waterways, and airways. So transport is an auxiliary to trade that helps and supports trade by removing the problem or obstacle or hindrance of place, because everywhere consumers are spread out, but production it takes place only at a particular location, that is limited locations, they are not spread throughout. But whereas consumption or consumers are spread all over the country. So in order to reach the consumers, what the producers have to do or take help of is transportation. And transportation is the aids to trade that removes the hindrance of place. So the problem of place is solved through transportation. It can be the types of transportation, that is roadways, railways, waterways, and airways. So again we come to the next, that is the same part of auxiliary to trade, communication. So communication helps the producers and traders and consumers to exchange information with each other. For example, postal service and telephone. Communication is also very important aids to trade or auxiliary to trade that helps in contacting each other. The producers or the traders and the consumers can exchange information, they can communicate with each other and solve their problem. They get information from the market, they get information about the products, they get information about the offers and schemes. All these informations are exchanged from one party to another party. It's only with the help of the auxiliary to trade, that is communication. For example, postal service and telephone, which will help to communicate. The next auxiliary to trade is banking and finance. So, business cannot function without funds. Funds are very much required for purchasing raw materials, assets, and to meet other expenses. These funds are obtained from banks or financial institutions. Therefore, banking helps the businessman to overcome the problem of finance, and banks lend money to the businessmen in the form of loans, overdrafts, and cash and other credit facilities. So, banking and finance is also a very important auxiliary to trade that supports trade, because business cannot survive without money or finance without funds. So, funds are very much required, and funds are it's a scarce resource. Scarce resource means it's not easily available everywhere. So, in order to remove this problem of money or funds or finance, banks and financial institutes come to the support and aid or help to the business, and that is what is called as auxiliaries to trade. So, your banks will help the businessman to provide finance, and it also helps the businessman with other facilities like overdraft system. It helps in other loans by lending them loans or any other, or you can say, credit facilities. Banks will offer all the facilities to the businessmen and help them as auxiliaries to trade for financing. The next auxiliary to trade is insurance. So, business involves various types of risk. So, risk means possibility of loss, and those losses are examples such as fire, theft, accidents, change in fashion among the customers, change in taste of the customers, natural calamities, risk of loss of damage of goods, etc. So, insurance provides protection in all such cases, and insurance compensates the amount of loss or damage, if any. So, insurance comes as another auxiliary to trade, where it removes the problem of risk. The hindrance or obstacle or barrier of risk is removed by auxiliary to trade, that is insurance. So, business involves many risks, and risk is very, you can say, inevitable. It is certain, it is something which goes along with business. So, risk means possibility of loss. Sometimes your goods may catch fire. Sometimes there is theft. Theft means robbery. Sometimes during stock keeping or during transit, your goods may meet with an accident, or your staff. So, change in fashion among the customers, or change in taste among the customers, natural calamities like floods, famine, earthquakes, anything for that matter. All this will cause a great loss and damage for the business. So, all this loss or damage can be solved through auxiliaries to trade called as insurance. So, insurance will provide all the protection in all such cases, and it will compensate the amount of loss or damage, if any. So, insurance is one auxiliary to trade that removes the hindrance of risk in business. The next auxiliary to trade is warehousing. Warehousing helps the business firms to overcome the problem of storage of goods and facilitates the availability of goods whenever it is demanded in the market, because goods are not sold or consumed immediately after production. So, warehousing helps to remove the obstacle of storage of goods. So, this warehousing is one auxiliary to trade that helps in removing the problem of storage of goods. The goods are Some goods are produced throughout the year but demanded only once in a year. So, where to keep the goods, where to stock the goods? It's warehouse, where you stock the goods intact and keep the quality intact of the goods till it is demanded in the market, because there is lots of time difference or gap between the time of production and the time of consumption. Goods may not be demanded or throughout the year, but it may be produced throughout the year. So, where it should be stored, and this is a big problem for the businessman, and this big problem of storage is solved through your auxiliaries to trade, that is warehousing. So, warehousing removes the obstacle or the hindrance of storage of goods for the businessman. Next one is advertising. Advertising is the most effective tool for promoting the sale of a product to inform about the goods and service available, their features, their price, their uses, the quality, etc. to the public. Therefore, advertisement or advertising helps in providing information about the available goods and services and induces the customers to purchase the product. So, advertising is a very effective and very, you can say, successful tool in order to push or promote sales of a product. So, advertising will help the businessman to remove and to overcome the hindrance of lack of knowledge and ignorance. Advertisement is one very important method of making the people and public and customers aware of the goods produced, their features, their price, their uses, their quality, their quantity, and all the other matters is informed to the public through advertising. So, therefore, advertisement provides information about the available products and services and induces. Induces means persuades, motivates, encourages, makes the customers to purchase or buy a particular product. So, advertisement is one auxiliary to trade wherein it removes the hindrance of lack of information or lack of knowledge or ignorance among the public. This is all for today's class, dear students. We have completed the whole chart of business activities. I hope you have understood. If you have any doubts, you can clarify by contacting me. Thank you.